Welcome back to the shop. Getting a lot done today. Don't know really where we left off, but I got 4 new springs for the upper spring on all 4 corners. Shout out to Randy Slauson. I DM'd him on Instagram just to see if he had any extra springs laying around, and sure enough, he had 4. He had the 4 that I needed. So he shipped those out. They are 14 inches long, 3-inch inside diameter, and 100 pound. 100, what is it, inch pound? 100 pounds per inch of spring movement. Yeah, something like that. So I've got all the coilovers. I stripped them all the way down. I didn't take them apart, but I just pulled the springs off, cleaned them up. Hope you enjoyed the time lapse of that. Maybe while I'm talking about this, I'll have that playing. So I've got the rear put together, and I wanted to show you a cool little trick that I saw and am implementing. So I'm mounting the reservoir cans, and typically they're just hose clamped with these little rubber bushings. Go on the roll bar, and then a hose clamp goes over top of it and holds the reservoir can. So I covered the hose clamp in shrink wrap, 1/2-inch shrink wrap. So hopefully that looks pretty cool. Those are both, the 2 rears are gonna go right on these 2 bars, or maybe on the same bar. I don't know, I'm gonna figure that out once I get them mocked up. All right, here's what it ended up looking like. See the little shrink wrapped hose clamps, and then I got a little fancy and put my speaker wire through the rubber grommet. Just help it, prevent it from getting chafed and hold it steady. And then we got the other side down there. So I think it turned out pretty good. Welcome back to the shop. Today, or I should say, right now, I'm working on a little interference issue that the previous owner decided was not important enough to fix. And it has to do with these sway bar arms. When the suspension drops all the way down, it hits this, what is this? Bump stop pinch bolt. You can see right there. And then this side was a little bit worse, a little more on the inside. You can see where there's a little rusty spot right there. So what would happen is the suspension would drop all the way down, and then these would act as limiting straps holding it. So what I've decided to do is put a little bend in them. So I've got this bend so far. And in order to do that, I've cut into the arm a little bit because this is super heavy and hard to bend. So I'll do an opposite cut on this side, and then it'll have a little jog in it. All I need is about 1/4 or 1/2 inch, depending on which side it is. And then I got this shop with this little tombstone stick welder, and I'll just fill in these gaps and then run it. Maybe I'll make a plate to go over the back and the front. I don't know. I'm just kind of winging it here. I was hoping I would be able to just grind the arm to make space, but it's almost as thick as the arm is the amount of interference. So this is like 3/8, no, this is over 1/4 inch thick. So I'm gonna keep bending and grinding and then welding, and we'll see what we end up with. here's what we ended up with. Nice little custom clearance on the sway bar arm. Let me wipe it off real quick. So I cut each side, created a divot up here and right here, bent them, and then filled them in with weld. I mean, it held up pretty true. I mean, it's not going to go on a space shuttle, but I think it'll work fine on the back of the rock crawler. Well, I definitely stepped out of my comfort zone on this little project. Clearancing these arms. I think they came out awesome. And whether or not they'll work the way we want, that remains to be seen, but at least I can get to the test driving stage in this furthest out setting, and maybe the second one. So yeah, check that out. Can't really even tell that I was grinding and doing some big old booger welds. I've been watching too much Shannon Campbell. Gonna polish this up to a mere finish, but no, I'm just gonna I just roughed it all up, ground the welds down, flap disc, and then sanded.